Hello and welcome, esports fans, to the EGF Fall 2019. This is week 4, and this is over. Today we got a best of 5 between the Cyber Colonels and Amity Spartans. But first, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, the Yukon School of Engineering, the Yukon Gaming Club, for making this season possible. Really appreciate that. I'm FBI Tugboat. Joined with me is Dell. Dell, how are we doing, my man?
I'm doing excellent today, and I just really am looking forward to this match. We have a match that should be fairly competitive between the Spartans and the Colonels today, and we're going to be starting off in Lijiang. We're heading right into the market map, but today we'll see Lijiang, we'll see Temple of Anubis, we'll see Eichenwald, Rialto, and potentially Oasis. But as we hop right into to Lijiang Tower and get our action started today, what do you think we're going to see today?
Well, I mean, Double Shields has been super popular. I do believe. I have not personally casted either of these teams before, but I do believe we've heard whispers and rumors and dark corners of Overwatch, like discords and stuff, channels of some Hammond players here. And I really, especially now with Sigma, and kind of, I just feel the way Overwatch is now. I feel like Hammonds are in a stronger place than they ever have been, even with the minor nerfs to his Minefield Ultimate.
Yeah, as someone that spends a lot of his time surrounded by ball means, I can definitely attest to that. Quick
Maybe in my
shots,
comp games.
quick shots, locking in ball has taught me many things. But as we see some of these initial picks, we're seeing double shield, we're seeing potentially maybe some Ryan Zarya, stuff that is not cut and dry as we've seen, which is interesting to see. Maybe Sea Dog is gonna lock that tracer. I doubt it, but there's hope in my heart that we can see some pulse bombs being dropped today.
I hear you. And now with her recent buffs, minorly at least, just allowing her to do a little bit more damage at that range, I think that has put Tracer in a better position overall, especially at these higher tiers. We can talk about that a little while later. Getting it going here. This is the Amity Spartans in the red and the Cyber Colonels in the left. Now, so this is Amity, or this Colonels, excuse me, utilizing the main support and side support. Same thing going on the other side, more being the main. All up in the front and grill is Nevermore. Nice charge there, taking out 2 after Bongo does get a nasty boop against him. This is a Lucio player in Lab Monkey that is going to be doing this all match, Dell.
Yep, Lab Monkey showing up big there, denying that side flank, and the Spartans are starting off strong. And as we head into this, we're going to see some swaps to Pharah potentially, which is definitely a little bit different, and Roadhog as well from Machete Man.
Yeah, interesting there. Now, they don't have any hit scans, of course, Nosy and Osiren being the 2 DPSs, Reaper and Hanzo respectively, but a good Osiren Hanzo will spell the end of this fair, especially with no Mercy Pocket. We'll see how this goes here as Nevermore up front, that big old Rhine shield as is tradition. Fire Strike trying to come down, the double shield composition from the side of the Colonels between Machete Man on the Sigma and Bongo on the Orisa. Really not getting too much going here, as I say that. Nevermore getting a well-placed Fire Strike to a Soul Light Moira player, getting a little bit too aggressive and paying the price for it.
Yeah, we're seeing some strong follow-up, and this Ryan Zarya comp is just proving to be a little bit too tough at contesting these chokes. We're not seeing a lot of mobility come out from the Colonels today. And sorry, my mistake. We're seeing not a lot of mobility from the Colonels today.
Yeah, Colonels in blue.
So we're looking for just to see them get out of these chokes, and this Ryan Zarya, Nevermore, and Orange Juice just making it really difficult for them to get out of and do anything.
I do like the classic combination between the Zarya Reinhardt, just a tried and true since day one Overwatch. Now, of course, they do have that Hanzo coming up soon as well, and that'll be the classic Grab Dragons, but Nosy's going to be the one getting kills himself first. All but a team wipe. I spoke too soon. A full team wipe against the Colonels. Once again, this has been a Spartans team that's just been absolutely dominant. Only 2 ultimates used on that last.
Exactly, there's just very textbook play. We see a flank shatter potentially being set up from Nevermore here in the back, and it's looking to just secure an early round win.
Yeah, Nosy's right there with him to get this damage on as well. Shattered down, but it looks like it's only actually going to land on 1 there. That Machete Man, Sigma, not going to last very long, laying down on the ground, and 99 goes to 100 with no contest from the Colonels there in the last. The grab coming out by Orange Juice at the last, just making sure that nobody's going to touch.
The Amity Spartans just starting off really strong, it's coming out swinging, off to big things, and we're going to be heading to Garden here, which is most definitely dominated by Pharah. We saw Duque swapped to the Pharah initially, so maybe we see it again, but also we're going to see Orange Juice potentially pull out the Hammond as we talked about, which is definitely a little bit different.
Okay, so I like Aurora's Zenyatta. That was obviously the easy counter to the Grab Dragons, the classic combination. We've seen so much. What, that was like season 11, really hard. But if they could have found a lot of value in playing the Mercy and doing another classic combination between the Mercy and the Pharah. As it was, I really don't think the Pharah found her full potential with the Colonels last round. They're going for a flank, more indirect approach on this one. Not against it at all either.
No, we've seen Ash and a Tracer come out, and the big difference to me is just as Lucio, Lab Monkey's running for his team and just allowing his team to create and control space as these fights start.
Oh, nasty charge comes in here, and that was a little Reinhardt action. Machete Man getting the charge against him, and then getting finished out by this other tank. Orange Juice doing a great job so far, getting up close and personal on the grill of the Colonels. These are two tanks that have the highest ult percentage so far on the team. As I say that, of course, Tracer, gets a little bit higher than this Heyman player, but of course, Tracer gets your ultimate very quickly.
It seems that we're seeing, the adaptations of just trying to mirror tanks, and they're just a little bit caught behind, and it just doesn't seem that without speed they're able to do much. There's just constant harassment from every angles here from the Spartans today.
Nice charge here. That's going to be Machete Man, and he's going to get put exactly where he does not want to be. I'm actually surprised he's lived that long. Oh, man! And Machete Man drops. That leads to Nevermore shattering almost the entire team, and again, just shy of a full team kill. Looks like Steedog trying to harass in the back, but I believe by himself, not going to last too long. Yeah, I do not believe he had the recall on that, and now he's actually looking a little bit staggered.
Yeah, and we see that Bob being thrown out there from Nosy, just not letting any respect or any movement, but we are going to see Bongo answer back with a big Bob kill there, and it's Nevermore get drops as well.
Yeah, that's actually very surprising here. Nevermore have operated this entire match with having Nevermore up front. He's been closest to his ultimate, again, faster than anybody else so far. And I'm really surprised the Colonels aren't pushing this right now and pushing it hard. Now, they don't have a Lucio, of course, but oh my goodness, Lab Monkey showing them maybe why they shouldn't push that so hard.
Yeah, Lab Monkeys has gotten big boops on both rounds here today, and it's proven that the gas is gonna be there. The juice has finally arrived, and as we head into this final fight, where we need to see some big plays out of Dookie and Solite today.
Yeah, lots of ultimates on board here. There's all the potential in the world, all the way across here. Shatter Dragons for the side of the Colonels. The aggressive Moira ult. Here we go. Singe getting this started as the minefield does drop, and that's all in the middle of these Colonel players. Nevermore takes out not one, but two, because only killing one with the Reinhardt charge is for suckers.
And a fairly dominant victory here from the Spartans. Amity really proving that they have kind of these comps, these understandings of how they want to play down to a T, and not letting anyone have any window of opportunity so far.
Oh man, as a Lucio main myself, this does my heart just good right here. Nice double boot from him. And we talked beginning of last match a little bit about the momentum, right? I mean, the 0 to 100, and that really started with Lab Monkey booping off Bongo on the Orisa as soon as he took off Fortify the very first round, right on that last little corner as they're coming into point. That's where the momentum started. Did not stop for the side of Amity Spartans. They find a quick 2-0 here, and both were 100-0, right? We didn't see Cyber Colonel's touch whatsoever.
Yep.
Those
flips.
Not touch, but take, excuse me.
Yeah, those flips did not happen, and Li Jiang was very dominant for the Spartans there in general. That's just life sometimes. Sometimes you lose, but as we move on to this next assault map, we'll be heading into Temple of Anubis, and Temple of Anubis is the killer of a momentum if there ever was such a thing. The map is designed around one of the most notorious chokes in the entire game, and as we head into this option, this attack, what do you think we can see to kind of regain momentum here from the Colonels today?
I mean, you kind of set it up yourself. This is basically almost like a game reset. Yes, the Amity Spartans are up 1-0. They need 2 more games, but this is such a different beast than Lijiang Tower. Not just because of the game type, but because, I mean, you're taking a hill and then a second one after that, right? Like, it's not just one static, stagnant hill that you have to fight over for an entire 2 different games. This is, like you said, completely different opportunity for the Colonels to come through here and maybe change up compositions. But regardless, the physical makeup of this map is going to guarantee a different game.
Exactly, and you know, I did think that the Colonels were starting on attack, but they will be starting on defense here, so it's a little bit different than I thought. But one of the things that I think will definitely play to their advantage is that maybe they don't have a very comfortable Lucio player. You know, Lab Monkey showed his promise on the hero for sure, but 2CP is not one of those heroes or one of those map types that has a lot of Lucio play being dominant, just due to the fact that it's more about taking strategical positions. But an interesting defense here. You know, we're going to see dive tanks and Mercies and Yada, which is definitely something you don't see too often. But maybe just some comfort picks here.
Yeah, the Moira Zen. I mean, it makes sense for the group healing that Solite on the Moira can provide. Aurora is really going to have to coordinate these Discord orbs with Sea-Dog and with Machete Man on those DPS characters. Now, both of those are huge, burst damage, right? You know, even a couple different shots from the Reaper, one or a shot and then a mine from the Junkrat can be massive. But the double sniper kind of dive composition from the other side for the Spartans, I could see working if executed correctly. Now, progress already coming onto point as Nevermore's all the way back here. Now he's joined by an entire squadron of Colonels. So, does get taken out here by a boosted Widow, but that's going to be A-okay. With that movement ability, he should be back decently early. Osiren's not done taking these headshots, though.
Yeah, denied all point ticks. You know, we saw some interesting plays there. We saw a really interesting 1v1 from Nosy and Aurora. Aurora ended up dominating that victory, but no point percentage gained as we head into the second attack.
Aurora learned to utilize the Sigma shield. See, as Sea-Dog does fall in the front, the attention momentarily off of, away from, of his healers on other people is what I was trying to say, excuse me. Solite falling again to a boosted Mercy, man. Solite is not able to live on this point really quite, so far. Contesting up top, but, against a nosy Hanzo, his burst there is not going to last very long.
Yeah, Nosy just putting a lot of pressure in here, enabled by Orange Juice and Siren. Him have just been backing and tagging frags, these arrows and then shots just following, and we are going to see walls pop. A little bit unnecessary, but just to further show that they have this point completely under control as they move towards the second point of Tempo Anubis on their attack.
Yeah, Singe actually switching onto the Ana I do like, but where is the Nano gonna go? Just gonna save it for Nevermore's Primal? D.Va's not fantastic Nano, and the snipers really require them to do a lot. But as I say that, of course, Nosy literally proving why he should take that Nano, landing a nice little headshot here onto Aurora a while ago. Now, Aurora's already gonna be back, does have that trans, so he can get back if he needs to. Everybody on the side of the Colonels is pretty close to ultimate. Sea-Dog at 57 now is the farthest away. That's going to lead to a very effective defense if they so choose. Now diving in comes Nevermore, but he's actually by himself. He's struck over the top, gets caught in the lip, and is going to take out Sea-Dog. Not able to block away from that one. Line of sight achieved. Machete Man with a nice two-piece here as Nevermore just follows well, just like that. The Colonel's push is finished.
Yeah, no, we're seeing some really interesting play there. The trades are still happening. Nevermore and keeping his team is still in this fight, but as a 2CP heavily favors the defensive team respawn times, we are going to see the Spartans hold on potentially here as we see Nevermore drop.
Well, I mean, honestly, I kind of like what Nevermore did just there. He literally got Primal and, by holding on to his Tesla Cannon on, 3 different players. Now, there wasn't really a super big chance of him killing those players, but he got his ultimate from it. And that's the spell value all day long. So getting a little bit lower here, and that's just what's going to happen when you do have this, you're only other healer on that Zenyatta, very, very focused healing if there ever was one. Machete Man, the only one without ultimate inside the Colonels. They're set up for a very solid defense again, but Aurora falling against this dive first. Sigmold coming out here, and Singe going to feel the fire from that one. Drop coming through, lots of damage across, but Nevermore does pop that Primal. Self-destruct of their own on the point. Colonels pop it, but nobody gonna fall in there. Bongo does get back into his D.Va mech, and that's in his spell value as well. Hanzo ult coming out against the spawn door of the Colonels, and is gonna take out Sea-Dog just as he's trying to get back and finish this fight. But the members of Colonels do come around the other way. Good coordination on that one as this Moira gets very low. Now does have that Coalescence, but I'm not sure if they want to pop it quite yet. And just like that, Singe gets a lot of damage with that flail against Solite, and we're not going to see the option for the Coalescence. Now, the Brig Ultimate coming out, and this might have just sealed the deal for Amity Spartans.
Yeah, definitely a really interesting swap there from Singe, opting for the Brigitte, and with Lab Monkey's res just to keep him kind of permanently alive. Brigitte just adds so much healing, and as we see these stagger fights keep extending on we're just seeing that constant value from Singe on Brig.
Oh, Riptire coming on out here. Oh no! Nosy gets the shots that he needs to take those out, and without that momentum, without those picks from Sea-Dog's Riptire, we're gonna see the Colonels losing second point, 2 minutes 41 seconds after a long, drawn-out and very impressive, honestly, defense. I said it before, I'll say it again. This game is going completely differently. That was not the same role that we saw last game.
Yeah, no, I think we saw an excellent stall there. You know, we talked a lot about TCP and how the changes work and kind of how the spawn timers are a little bit different. So just to put that in perspective, their defense was almost about 6 minutes, which is a very long time to hold. Yeah. And especially when you talk about momentum and kind of the fact that we went from being completely shut out to building on this defense. And so maybe just a little bit slow to get started. We're going to see the Colonels pick up a little bit of steam here, and you know this is a big opportunity for them. They're on attack. They had a rather successful defense, and it seemed like they found some more value out of some of these picks. You know, we definitely see Bongo and I believe Duque was on Sigma, working out some nice stuff. You know, we saw an interesting combination of Diva and Sigma, which is very atypical, but I think it worked very, very well against the double snipers.
I really like the Machete Man Reaper as well. I think every time he shouted that die ultimate, at least 2 or 3 players would follow suit and listen to those directions. He had very good positioning on that and did not waste his cooldowns, you know, getting in and out unnecessarily. Yeah, this is a Colonel's team that has switched up the tank and DPS composition. Not against it at all. I do believe Aurora and Soullight, though, have stayed on the healers. Off support mostly being Aurora, main support mostly being Soullight.
Yeah, exactly, and you know the flexibility is king, and seeing these high schoolers work out these strategies is definitely interesting. We are going to see a huge flank from Nevermore, looking for glory with the charge, and he's going to find Duque.
Yeah, the Zarya bubble coming right in there, and that provides value all day long. That's a pick, that's ultimate charge for both of these players, and that's a charged laser for this Zarya player. That is just, wow, that is amazing. Great flank here by the Spartans. I'll stop talking about it. Sea-Dog falling here. But swapping over from the Junkrat last match on over to this main tank, that Reinhardt player. And just a little bit, yeah, I mean, the Colonels have plenty of time to group up. That's just kind of what they need to do. They do not want to fall to one of these damage rates by a Singe Moira.
No, and we're seeing a very split team, you know, now taking a chance to get their breath recovered after being caught completely by surprise on Nevermore. But, you know, we're seeing Orange Juice just completely decimate everybody on the Zarya.
Yo, talk to me for a second about your opinion on that Nevermore flank.
I mean, it seemed to get incredible value, and if there wasn't a mental game, I think it's been boomed. So I think, you know, the value of mentally booming your teammates or the opponents out of the match is just incredible.
I can dig it. The way I look at it is a very, very, like, moderate reward, very, very high risk. If you lose your main tank player, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Shatter coming out here now, but it doesn't look like Nevermore really connected too much with it. Now did charge out Sea-Dog at the end and followed up with a lot more damage and a couple more kills as we saw the Colonels trying to get back to spawn. Now it looks like Duke, yeah, nicely done. Duke damage first, Machete Man following that one up, and the main tank, excuse me, Nevermore is going to be felled and way closer to spawn towards the Colonels. Again, maybe a time they should take advantage of this.
Yeah, one of the things that we're seeing that is just really interesting is kind of the levels of gameplay and kind of the MO, the operating mantra of these Spartans has just changed completely. It seems that they have gone to opt for zero respect at any times. You know, we're seeing these ults in the spawn, we're seeing incredible flanks, and it's working, you know, to their regard.
Yeah, I really like the Machete Man swap onto McCree. He seems like he is aware and alert and alive and all the times just really, really conscious of what can come out as a great counter pick. I mean, and Osiren over onto the Torb now. Interesting.
You know, yeah, Torb is definitely one of those picks that on 2CP is a little bit more valuable than others. But what do you do when you're trapped in a spawn door, you know? I think what we need to see what the plan is for the Colonels and how they want to change it. You know, they're running this double main tank composition. It just doesn't seem to be getting the value that they need.
Duke over here, Ducky over here. providing value in the form of drawing attention. That actually did lead to the rest of the Colonels being able to get around this one. Shatter coming down here now. There's nobody to Shatter because Osira and Orange Juice and Nosy got all the damage in the world right there, killing everybody in their path. All but a team kill coming out against the Colonels. 35 seconds to go. They got 1, 2, 3, 4 ultimates on board. Sea-Dog 1% away.
Yeah, Nevermore and Osiren just literally in the spawn door of the Colonels today, and not really been leaving it too much. You know, Osiren is going to get the kill on Bongo there, and as we head into 20 seconds, you know, there's not a lot of hope here for the Colonels.
Yeah, I have to. I have to wonder. You gotta. I mean, if there's time to go, it's right now. Now Bongo switching on over to that Hammond. Aurora plopping that offensive trance to try and get through here, and now somebody's got a touch. Not sure if it should have been the. Sea-Dog and Machete Man kind of in the back again. Slightly split offense on here, and Soullight, Nord, and Machete Man are gonna have the opportunity to pull those ultimates. Now Sea-Dog does have it, but I'm not sure if players will be able to live through this. It's just Bongo 1 point. Yep, doesn't look like that one's gonna happen. Without a point taken, that second match is going to go the way of the Amity Spartans as well.
Yeah, you know, Amity Spartans showing the dominance here, 2-0 in the store. They took Li Zhang convincingly, and they doubled down on Temple of Anubis, and they just held them at first point spawn door. You know, sometimes it happens, and we're going to see Osiren pick up a really nice play of the game on the Torbjorn, getting some big flicks there with the right click. And, you know, look, you see the chaos, you see the split nature, you know, you see ultimates flying, you see kills happening, and it's just, it makes you wonder what do you do on the Colonel side of the field.
No, I hear you. I think that the name of this game, the narrative of this match so far, is about picks and counter picks. That was awesome that Duke got the legendary there. By the way, that's pretty cool. Not something you see all the time. 10 individual players all agreeing on the same thing. Anyway, I think it's all about picks and counter picks, right? We saw Siren switch on over the Torb. That and his turret provided value all day long, and it is kind of what's led to the Colonels being able to be held at their spawn door. On the flip side, Aurora has not played a character besides Zenyatta yet, and even like throughout, no matter what Amity has thrown at them so far, you know, we saw them kind of start on this double sniper dive composition. Still is the Zenyatta. So I'm switching on over to the Reinhardt, and the Torbjorn still is Zenyatta. Especially the way things are now, just straight up. Zenyatta is just not as much in the meta. You know, earlier with the Ryan Zarya, I could see playing that, or sorry, with the Zarya Hanzo, I could see playing that as a little just 1 + 1 = 2 counter to the Grab Dragons combination. But playing it all the way through, not something I'm sure about.
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest thing to point out is that the Overwatch is in a really weird state right now. There's not an active professional tournament, and there's not a lot of places for a player that is in some of these high school positions to really learn. You know, the only thing you really have right now to improve at Overwatch is competitive and scrimmages. So scrimmages are just like 6v6 practice matches, or working along just to get better with another team. And one of the things that I think could be happening for the Colonels is an experiencing what they've just experienced, getting completely shut out in Li Zhang and then getting first held on Anubis. You've seen this kind of thought that maybe they're just better. But I think largely what we're seeing, the reason why the Spartans are so dominant, in addition to the skill, because the skill disparity is definitely there a little bit, is the fact that they understand the value of some of their picks. You know, when you see teams not opt for Colonel Lucio, it's very smart to run a Brigitte, and that's something that we've seen from the Spartans. Is they're running a lot of Brigitte, especially in defensive situations, and that's something that's adding to a lot of their potential. You know, it's one thing to play against a typical composition of Lucio Moira, but when you opt to hold a choke point and you ditch the speed in favor for Brigitte, it offers so much healing in the combination of Brigitte Moira that it's just difficult. It's just plain difficult to get any kills.
I hear you. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're looking at a completely changed Brig now, right? Like a 180 on her kit. That being, instead of this huge singular instant healing and armor that you give one player, it's, you know, counting up, and very quickly, I might add, on 3 different. So you talked about chokeholds. What are chokeholds if not big bursty damages coming through very quickly? And that is exactly what Brig counters. It's a very, very good point.
Exactly. And, you know, the reason why I wanted to point that out is mostly to understand that results in Overwatch, especially from these matches where it's a very loose team. You know, you don't see these guys grinding 14 hours a day. You know, they have high school, they have
Yeah, no.
relationships, they have full lives, and it's something that these victories can paint one story, but I think that the root cause of this match is that we're just seeing a little bit of unfamiliarity in the current meta from the
Yeah.
Colonels.
I
So
I want to touch on that right quick. It's a very good point that you have about the Overwatch League and stuff. Contenders, doing their own thing, a little bit more not a little bit more active. Obviously, they have more matches than the Overwatch League Tier 2 does, but uh, I mean, metas just don't come out of nowhere, right?
mhm.
People like the head coaches of the Overwatch League don't just sit down and play 20,000 hours of Overwatch themselves, right? They draw data from individual places, and I think you'd be hard pressed to say that even matches like this on the very base level are played and in and of themselves form metas to an extent, right? Like, I mean, the Goats thing, for example, that's a perfect example. Those you're talking about, a Goats team in a Contenders team. They came through. Some of these guys are 18, 19 years old. Some of them are fresh out of high school, and they come through and form a meta that dominates Overwatch for 9 months. They completely negates, 12 of Overwatch is at the time like 32 characters in the DPS characters,
Yep.
like, or no, 20 of the 32. Like that is massive. And again, you would not be able to get that without the consistent experimentation that comes through with formal, organized esport competitions like EGF is providing here with this.
Exactly. You know, and as we head into Eichenwald, you know, we're gonna see a little bit more different gameplay. You know, in Lijiang, it's dominated by kind of mobility and gameplay and understanding the different terrain that you're navigating. And Anubis, of course, is dominated by choke points. And so, Eichenwald is one of the most open maps, has the most 3D space to use. You know, you have lots and lots of flank routes. You have lots and lots of paths to get to where you want, in addition to some of these chokes. So maybe this extra element, this extra space will allow the Colonels to kind of work outside the MO of Slam or just working inside these chokes. So as we head into this attack, we are going to see some swaps. You know, we're going to see Baptiste from Aurora and Machete Man on the Kree. So a little bit different, but we'll hopefully we see some big success here.
I really like that. The two main supports, especially with Aurora's, the Baptiste's invincibility shield, that's almost like a mini Zenyatta Transcendence that just comes way more often. Now on the other side, Desi playing that Doomfist. This is really going to be a matchup between him and Machete Man. If Machete Man is able to hold on to those flashbangs, utilize them once you have your Doomfist flying in. Big charge coming in. Desi is here, and he is trying to pick up some of his own. Sea-Dog being the first to fall in this fight. Nasty freeze coming against Aurora, not able to get that invincibility shield out, and just like that, a speed-boosted Amity Spartans team rolls all the way over this defense. I predicted that was going to be a different story, and with Aurora's now Baptiste instead of Zen, I thought that was going to be different. I was proved wrong.
Yeah, you know, one of the things we saw them try to set up is Nevermore using a tech of Reinhardt to charge over the roof. I believe that was put on Reddit by Liam Overwatch, who's a player for the Ireland World Cup team. But as we see this play develop, this no hands barred in your face gameplay from the Spartans is just not giving the Colonels any room.
Yeah, what that was I believe it started with Machete Man trying to come out, but again a very fast, very mobile Amity Spartans team with the Lucio, with the Doomfist, and even with Nosy in tow, got all the way up and personal and was able to take out a couple of those stagger picks from players who got the bad spawn. Now we're looking at a Colonel's team that is more organized and is now playing together. Oh man, but a nasty Maywall leads to the easy early chagrin and death doomed to leader's destruction from multiple members of the Colonels. Man, oh man, that's just what they can do, right?
Yeah, no, and we're seeing stuff that's pretty interesting. You know, we saw Bongo there, kind of using the Hammond just to deny, but we're gonna see a shatter from Nevermore. No respect, still.
No respect. I get no respect. Yeah, Ducky being the object of his eye there, just to, solo shatter. I guess it's the main tank. There's a lot to be said for that.
He's just trying to prove that he's a little bit more alpha, and channeling his inner T1. Bongo trying to just contest the cart, but he's gonna slam himself into oblivion.
Oh man, and now without their second tank there, 1-2 ultimates utilized from the side of Spartans, so that's not an entire loss. This bridge part is always one-sided in my opinion.
Yeah, and as we move on to the third point, 5.5 minutes on the clock, and a lot of kills going in the way of the Spartans.
I'm seeing this red Doomfist emblem in almost every single one of these kills in the kill feed. Desi is popping off right now. Now, Nevermore did get up close and personal, taking a couple picks himself. Is not working towards his ultimate because, of course, he does have it. Three other members, excuse me, of the side of the Spartans do. And looking over on Colonel, as they're just glowing blue here. Bongo is the only one, and he is only about 20% away from that ultimate. How they utilize this will decide this ensuing team fight. First comes Bongo, trying to contest this away. Orange Juice getting punished for his aggression here, but this payload is continuing to move here as Nosy Desi taking a couple of their own. This May, after utilizing that Blizzard, takes out what, 3 or 4 members of the Colonels?
Yes.
Something like that. 4 minutes, 43 seconds to the clock.
You know, that's a lot of time. To put that in perspective, that's more time than you get on an initial attack on Anubis, and that's something that we're seeing just a lot of victories going the way of the Spartans, and it begs you to wonder: is there anything that can be changed at this point? You know, we saw Aurora make the swap onto Baptiste. That doesn't seem to be enough. Where's the keyhole?
A Brig swap might be it, because Brig could both badger the incoming Ryan, you know, either bash him away, or either bash him to stun, or whip shot him away, and would also take care of Desi's Doomfist. That really, and again, just speaking the news here, just reporting the news objectively, really just, I feel like every ability that he pulled, every cooldown that he activated, landed onto at least one Colonel members, and the next one was guaranteed to be a kill. He just was really blowing through there, again, just speaking objectively.
Yeah.
The swap being Lucio. Now, I could dig this, especially if, you know, the members of the Spartans use their cooldowns to dive in, and then Aurora just activates that speed boost and just simply backs up. That would be interesting.
Yeah, you know, the flexibility is nice, and again, a very atypical composition. You know, Reaper Tracer is not something that I believe I've ever seen in my entire life, but I'm very interested to see how this can work. I think it has a lot of potential at being a very good composition. This
is super divey. I was gonna say, yeah, like that's almost like too divey right there. Like you can't really get support onto your people. So the idea is Ducky is going to sit back with his Moira while Aurora on the Lucio tries to speed boost in not just the Reaper, but both of these tanks as well. Rolling through here is Bongo, trying to set up a little bit of wonkiness. The Torb turret, excuse me, is not going to last long on this one. Is that Hammond all the way back there actually is trying to pressure in the back. Ducky with a nice headshot here, taking out the May is never going to be a bad thing, especially on this chokehold that is so susceptible to that May shield. Oh, man, that was Aurora who tried to boop this Nevermore Ryan away as he was charging, but is going to fall to, teammate is going to fall on that one. Colonel just have to regroup, rethink the strategy on this one.
Yeah, the redirect, very powerful, and the spawn hold is still in full effect. You know, a full minute has been burned now by the Spartans. Their defense has been very good, and you know, I love to see the swaps, but I just don't know where it's working. But we're seeing some grouping here come out from the Colonels and potentially catching Desi off guard.
Oh, Nevermore getting knocked off, trying to charge down. Nasty anti comes against Sea-Dog right as he comes in, and that Matrix defense is not going to be enough to eat up that damage, especially when Orange Juice on the Zarya is charged like he is.
Yeah, you know, Torbjorn is finding a lot of value.
Oh,
2, 3 hammer kills from Desi.
The meme is in full effect. The meme is in, oh, actually, while that's going on, Bongo's in the back and takes a tick. The meme is literally in full effect. Oh my god. And the Torbjorn pulls his ultimate on it. I can't believe this. This is the most entertaining Overwatch I've casted in a long time. Triple hammer kill coming out from Desi, while Bongo's in the back taking ticks, and then Desi tosses his Torbjorn ultimate. This is just beautiful.
I don't know if I've ever seen a hammer triple kill like that. That was quick, clean, and efficient.
The thing is, I think that 2 of those was actually, it was only 2 swipes as well. Like, yeah. I think that was literally just like 1 swipe that happened to land on 2, which is hard enough in of itself. Another hammer kill coming out here, so that's just gonna have 4 total. But then the third one, or the second one coming out against the third kill, how inspiring.
How inspiring indeed. You know, watching Dusty here just zip around, using the E to get that speed boost off cooldown and just punish every cyber kernel he can find.
Yeah, I gotta shout this out right quick. So Orange Juice tossing in Grav. Aurora realizing that there's too much damage there to drop the the sound barrier, excuse me. So there's no point. He holds on. He knows that his team is gonna lose, and now they're coming through with that ultimate still. Very good awareness on that.
Yeah, and we're gonna see Machete have the Reaper Blossom in line, so potentially it'd be Blossom to kind of gain entry into the point. But we're gonna see Desi just make it really difficult to leave with all that Torbjorn juice on the ground.
Interesting. Nosy tossing that Blizzard, but of course not going to find too much advantage either from that one. Because chases him down and gives him a bit of his own medicine. As I say that, Desi coming through with that Torb Hammer again. Offensive sound barrier now utilized. Aurora turned on the speed and trying to get up close and personal on this one. Ducky barely getting out there with the high noon, but does get blocked off by Nevermore's big Rhine shield. Self-destruct coming out here. I'm not sure if Nevermore still has it. Oh, man! Oh. The flashbang from Ducky came out just a second too late. That was right there. Now the Death Blossom coming out here, and that is truly the end of this Rhine shield. Nevermore trying to get on here and charging, but Machete Man getting away from that one the last second. Desi did fall to that Death Blossom as we're seeing a split fight here. Sea Dog coming down as the Shatter does land. That might be the end of the dream here for the Cyber Kernels. They did take a tick, but not sure if that one's going to be enough, my friend. Actually, no, excuse me, both DPSs are here. Everyone is getting absolutely bamboozled and badgered in the back as we see Bongo just flopping around and around, so that's contest is Awakey here and alive. Now the grab out, and I think that might be the end of the dream there, Del.
Yeah, Orange Juice channeling a sky grab there, just shooting it straight up in the air, and it ended up catching two people there right in the cart. So very important distinction here. Amity Spartans are now up 3-0, so they have taken the series, but we will be playing the fourth map. Just for record perspective, it's exactly how they do it in the Overwatch League, and Orange Juice picking up a big play of the game here on Zarya.
Now, was this the last one? No, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be the last one, because, yeah, these, man, oh man, yeah, those alternative fires, man, that led to Orange Juice getting, what, 30% charge on his ultimate, 20% charge on his ultimate just by getting that in there and getting that splash damage. I believe most of those kills were taken out by his Reinhardt. And that's just great coordination, man. Straight up.
Yes, exactly. And as we head into this fourth map, you know, it's gonna be where the really interesting stuff comes up. You know, if I'm on the Spartans, if I'm the Spartans team, I'm gonna be going to how do I top a hammer triple kill? You know, what's the move there?
Quadruple kill. I don't know.
Exactly. You know, big plays indeed, and you know we're gonna be heading to Rialto, which is a map that is quite unlike any other. One of the newer maps in Overwatch, and one of those maps that natively in the Overwatch League or in some of the higher tier play has a lot of these Bastion setups, has a lot of these Torbjorn setups.
Yeah, in other words, it sucks.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Honestly, I'm not really about the Bastion, pirate ship, technique. You throw a Torbjorn on top of that just gets straight annoying. I realize it's a viable strategy in every way, shape, and form, but especially now with this double shield meta, throwing the Sigma shield on top of an Orisa shield, it's just irritating, man. And it kind of almost necessarily yields a counter pick in the Bastion, right? Like to melt through the shields.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my soapbox, I'm done.
The other thing about Rialto that I think is really interesting is how Pharah has been used on that map. Pharah has been one of the picks that was not really favored initially, but I think as people have discovered kind of the nooks and crannies and how the skyboxes work, Pharah is very, very good on that map. And that's something that I feel is going to make a big difference here compared to how we've seen these past maps go. And the reason why is just because Pharah has a boop, Pharah has a lot of control, and Pharah is also very good at shutting down Bastion compositions just because of the rockets that can come from so many different angles.
Exactly. And yes, Bastion's a hit scan. That's not the kind of hit scan that you're looking for, my friend. Those shots at distance are not going to land with any kind of regularity, any kind of predictability, any kind of reliableness, especially if you throw Mercy into that mix. Now, another reason why Pharah is so good, of course, is because you're looking at two different bridges. The first one being a little bit more narrow than the second, but I mean, the second, teams only take that after very, very long team fights, and I feel like there's more frequent than not that you're going to look at one team being completely wiped onto that very first point or that very second bridge where you're actually coming up to get your first checkpoint, your first extra bit of time as an attacker. I feel like it's way more frequent than not that one team is just completely wiped on that. Whereas first bridge is really where the rumble starts.
Exactly. And as we start these rumbles, I think the big thing that I want to pay attention to is how we see Sea-Dog kind of evolve the gameplay. You know, we've seen him swap a lot. We've seen a lot of these heroes on the kernels kind of change around a lot. And I want to see kind of sticking to one strategy that just seems to be working for them, and develop and build off that. You know, you talk about experience and how it matters in the game, and when you talk about the Spartans, they have a lot of experience. You know, the Colonels, if you look at it from just a leveling perspective, are about a third less experienced at an average, and what that means for anyone at home is that every one of the Spartans might have more than 100 hours in Overwatch invested, each individual, which comes up to a lot of time. You know, 600 hours is that's a lot of time, and from the perspective of the Colonels, you know, they only have a total of roughly 150 hours, which it makes a lot of difference. And when you see gameplay like this and you see the disparities, you know, you have to wonder how much that experience has just led to this kind of dominant victory we're seeing.
No, I hear you. I mean, obviously, Overwatch has many different heroes, and some of these heroes are, I think, just again speaking objectively, very similar to other first-person shooters. Now, how much Call of Duty, for example, would you play to get, you know, almost like an equal translation of skill in, say, Soldier 76? You know, how much Halo can you play sniping and whatnot to get that advantage in the form of Widowmaker? You know, they're just literally theory crafted questions that you can't really, you know, prove, disprove ever really, but they are interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. And so from this last map perspective, we're gonna head into it. We're gonna be starting off strong. We are gonna see a Bongo on the ball. We're gonna see Nosy on Symmetra and potentially Desi on Torbjorn. So stuff that is just definitely atypical, and we'd love to see. So as we move forward,
No point with boops for the defense.
yeah, no boops.
Well, I guess Bongo kind of has his, but that's like not really so much of a horizontal one as a vertical one, right? I mean,
yeah, a bowling ball, if you will, potentially knocking the pins off the map.
Sorry, yeah. I meant his seismic slam, or no, not seismic slam. What's it called? That. I messed this up last week. What's the name of that?
I'm not too sure actually. I think the hamster impact use when he slams it down.
Pile driver.
Pile driver. There we go.
That's what it is. Jesse with another hammer kill that's going up to 5 on the series. First for this match, or first for this map, I guess I should say. And what that was a very well placed flank, assisted by the Symmetra turret by Nosy for the side of the Spartans. Caught unawares is the side of the Cyber Colonels, and that led to, I mean, the full team wipe and a couple more staggers, it looks like.
Yeah, Singe here taking the Torbjorn turret on a tour of Rialto, and the frags keep going out from Orange Juice, Nosy, and Nevermore, just showing up big things in the spawn door.
Yeah, what's kind of surprising here is Singe on this main healer is the one who's able to come back, even with tossing, you know, healing warp in there. That's not really going to be as much, and I'm just kind of surprised that Lab Monkey is able to keep up the healing through this. As I say that, every member of this Colonels looks like they fell to Orange Juice and Nosy. Those different forms of you know, energy.
Yeah, you know, Bongo's experiencing what it's like to be a human bongo in the corner there.
Like a drum, I hear you, man.
Orange Juice with a big primal rage, and this double cleave composition is something that is interesting. You know, you talk about damage, and you talk about who's getting the kills, and it tanks a lot of the time just because the consistent damage comes from the swings of the Reinhardt or the zap of the Tesla.
No, I hear you, and I mean the dual, you know, dual main tanks. You know, you do have a shield with the you know, with Monkey, with Winston, but obviously with how mobile it is and how, you know, kind of light in armor it is, not really the exact same, at least what you think about with the Orisa or Sigma or the Reinhardt. Getting very low here, Ducky actually with a very good shot on that one. Lab Monkey not going to see the rest of this one as the Shatter does come out here. Nasty flank, Nevermore doing it to him again.
Yeah, and you know, they've abandoned the cart, but Singe just felt that. Oh, Hammer can't. Six kills?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, six.
Six. The last one, that's second of this one.
Yeah. Yeah, so 6 heads collected today for Jesse, showing up big. And the cart will be completed there by Orange Juice and Lab Monkey.
Oh, no. Ooh, Jesse getting triple with the Torbjorn ultimate. Nasty wait, was that 4?
Yes,
yeah,
that
I think
was 4.
T-Dog actually led to 4, and that is a full team wipe against the Colonels. Now, what did they invest? They invested the Torbjorn ultimate, Ducky making the switch on over to Hanzo, so that one makes sense. Mongo investing the Roadhog ultimate, but switching on over to the Winston. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, switching indeed.
Right. I'm mixing these teams up. Ducky switched on over from the Reaper, I believe.
Yep. And the Aurora does have the chance online. A final contest coming out here. This is the last chance for them to make any measure of impact on Rialto.
Yeah, Machete Man over on this Moira now. Traditionally, we have seen him on the DPS. We saw him even play tank at some point, but getting super aggressive here, and the only member falling for the side of the Spartans was Nevermore, getting super aggressive and just leaving your Lad Monkey Lucy on point. You can see him kind of sitting down there at the end, taking a rest, as his role is done.
And as 4.5 minutes has been a pretty consistent time. We've seen 4 minutes, we've seen 5 minutes. We're seeing just, again, dominant form. And the interesting thing from the Colonels is that the only thing that they've really swapped this time is positions. You know, we've seen Duque on the tanks. We've seen Sea-Dog swap around a little bit as well. And Machete Man even stepping up to the plate and getting that experience across the different positions of Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking earlier about experience and how much you have on it. Now, this is the, this is the limelight, right? This is the big show. You know, it's not the championships, not the finals necessarily, but this is, I mean, all of these matches count. You know, the pressure is on. Playing different characters in those different situations will only lead to, valuable, formative experience that you can use in the rest of your Overwatch career.
Exactly, and the other thing too, I feel like, is it also builds that team chemistry, because it's one thing to tell your teammate, hey, we don't have a lot of healing, but then to put yourself in the shoes of that healer, you can kind of see how difficult their job might be.
No, yeah, I'm with it. That's a very good point as well. Now, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Are we going to see this Bastion on defense?
Looks like we're going to see a boat tour happen. Where this boat is going to take them, I don't think they know, because I believe it pushes you off the map.
No. It turns around up here, doesn't it?
It's been a while since I've taken a tour myself, so as we see this double shield composition taking a tour of the boat, we will see it turn around. They are safe for now.
Safe for now. You've escaped. You escaped again. If it wasn't for you and that pesky dog. Little Scooby-Doo reference for y'all. Not sure who will get that one, but that's okay. We only have one member of the Spartans actually actively contesting. Does get a boop on that one, but falling to a well-placed pile driver. That's what it's called. Yep,
the pile driver getting those kills indeed. And as Lab Monkey did get that boop, he has got a boop kill on 3 of 4 maps now.
Yeah, very interesting statistic. A little live reporting coming out here by Dell. Love to see it.
Hammer kills galore. Boops. Here we go, and we're gonna see these fights start.
Yeah. Okay. So looks like it was used for a very long roundabout flank. That's gonna work. Machete Man falling first. Again, playing that Moira so far, that main support, and oh man, after losing it, both heals, a tank, and a DPS as Colonel's team that was not able to come together and formatively attack back. You have to regroup here and here. They got plenty of time with which to do so.
Yeah, Soullight not locking the spotlight there. He did live a little longer, but he was the last one to fall on the Sigma. And we are going to see a little bit of setup come up now from Lab Monkey, using this kind of surprise element to come and go for boop kills.
Ooh, taking the boop kills, right? That's Lab Monkey's. What, he got? That's his 6th as well? Oh, no! Does that count as like -1 on his score on the boops?
I think so. Orange Juice falling as well, but we're gonna see the return of the Touring Bastion set up on this gondola. And,
the return of the Touring Bastion. That sounds like an old school play or something, like the Maltese Falcon or something like that. I don't know. But testing coming through here for Orange Juice. That's gonna be first little bit on that. Lab Monkey is over off to the side. We're getting very, very low. Not gonna fall off quite yet. 2 minutes to go as Colonel's looking to get this one player down. There you go. That's going to be a great start here. About 4 meters away as Nevermore is trying to get back up, but he's on the ship and can't get up on that lip. I didn't even know. Laurel coming on out here. Singe taking Ducky down first. There's a second one on top of that as a nasty charge come through for Nevermore. And the charge and the noggin with his hammer knocks this Hammond player off the map. Can't res that one, my friend.
Nope. And, you know, 4 minutes on the clock, 4 minutes of brutal abuse here from Desi on the Bastion. Nevermore opting to switch his playstyle up and just really give Desi all the shield he can.
Yeah, and Desi now popping that tank formation, that Bastion ultimate. This is going to fall here to a Ducky Storm Arrow. We do see Soullight all over on this one. Again, him being a player so far that's played on that main support, mostly the Moira. I do believe we saw him on Lucio as well today, but no longer. We're seeing on the main tank on that Sigma. Half of this composition between Bongo and Soullight that is the tank right now. Shatter coming out here, no shield to block it off, but no follow-up either, actually. Nevermore falling to some well-placed Ducky Sonic Arrows again, and that might actually be the momentum that this Colonel's team needs.
The momentum is definitely coming back in the form, but Nosey's still getting some trade frags here, and Orange Juice lurking in the wings, trying to get a little bit of contest potentially going for his team.
Ooh, Lad Monkey was up top. I play Lucio, and I know what he was looking for. He was looking for a nasty boop, and now this team's not paying attention to him. Oh, used it a little bit too early on that one. Orange Juice getting up close and personal and following up for his aggression. Nasty charge coming against Ducky. That was Nevermore, who was tired of falling to the Sonic Arrows.
Big pin indeed. You know, we saw Lad Monkey get a lot of contests there, flying around on Lucio, using that speed just to make himself an awful big nuisance to kill. And as we head to this fight for second point, there's a lot of ultimates from the Colonels potentially to secure this final point.
Yeah, correction, there was 6, and now there's only 5 because Nosy does fall to some well-placed Hanzo. Dragons charged coming in again, and Nevermore finding all the value in the world with it. I feel like every time this guy presses that button to charge in, just tuck the old helmet there and charge on in, he's gonna find somebody. It's happened every single time. Orange Juice now with a nice 2-piece here, that minefield proving valuable. Desi getting 1 or 2 of his own, and only that Machete Man Moira is left. Bongo taking out Desi there at the end. Desi, I think, charging through some mines there. Might have even just sacrificed the body to get a couple of these away.
Yeah, a lot of force being proud with Nevermore here, and we're back kind of in the situation that they really like to be in, which is holding the enemy spawn door. Desi has a Blade of Lion and a beat from Lad Monkey to back him up, and Nevermore gets a 2 for 1 charge.
And that's his second one, Dell. Nevermore getting the second 2-piece with a charge so far. Again, I really wish that was a statistic, almost like Roadhog's hook. I really wish his charge efficiency, like how many times he takes a pick, because seriously, he might be above 100% right now, because that's 2 different charges that have 2 kills.
Yeah, you really don't see that every day, and Nevermore proving the dominance of the hero. Reinhardt is really, really scary, and almost as scary as a Nano Blade from Desi.
Did you see Sea-Dog actually just got booped off there and happened to land on the gondola? I saw the fear in his eyes, the terror that fuck it. When that comes down, because, it's just like, okay, well, I got booped off, I'm done for, and then you land and you're just kind of like looking at your little robotic ferryman here, wondering what just happened and thanking him for the best positioning that has ever been found in Overwatch.
Yeah, Spooky Season isn't found everywhere, and I guess Rialto's not the map.
I love it. Oh, man. Well, I mean, seriously, they're decked out in all this Halloween gear, but a lot of ultimates on the side for the Colonels. This is their last chance, their last stand. They have the opportunity to get a map point on here after the Amity Spartans have gone up 3-0. We play out the 4th one just like the Overwatch League, like you said. Ducky now with that Hanzo ultimate is going to be running through a lot of this playing field, a lot of this payload path, but they... Oh, EMP out. That's going to be 4 different members. Machete Man falling first. No more ultimate on this one. Not going to be had for the rest of this as Aurora picks up a pick of his own. Ducky taking out 2 here. First one, regular arrow. Second one, storm arrow. Aurora falling to a nasty punch against him. Desi not able to get back, but a huge res by Singe getting up close and personal. And this lack of coordination deals to a nasty res against, or for his Hammond, excuse me. Minefield's coming out by both, I believe. No, that's just, that's just Bongo's actually. And he gets 2, no, not 2, but 3 on this in overtime. And we might actually see a Colonel's team that's not done pushing, Dell.
No, 3 members left, though. We see a Widow and a Genji in the flank, and we see Sin doing his absolute best to just live a little bit of a life. It's gonna fall.
This life, not gonna happen. Not gonna live that life here. Desi looking to end this with Sushi, making members of 1. Now there's 2. There's a shatter coming out, and Desi's not done yet. Oh my goodness! And Colonel members forced off a point. Amity Spartans taking this 4-0 after, a very inspirational last push by the Colonels, but Desi coming through with that well-placed Genji ultimate and actually taking the play of the game with the Torbjorn.
Yeah, this was the 4K, I believe. Just looks like he channeled it in the spawn, and it just absolutely obliterated the competition.
My oh my, you hate to see it. That Torbjorn ultimate. I mean, just pulled, opening up the can, just pouring it all over the ground, and then it's staying for so long is irritating. I've been there before, but great play by Desi. Fantastic. Can't take anything away from him and his 50% kill participation.
Exactly, and the theme of this series has definitely been kind of colorized by Nevermore. I feel like Nevermore started a little bit differently than he ended. We can say that for sure. And the lotto charges, those odds, the statistics alone show that this man knows how to get value out of the shift button on Reinhardt.
Yeah, the multi kills on charges. Dell is not being facetious. You do not see that every single day. This guy got 2 of them that I saw. A lot of these team fights went very, very quickly, and they might have happened while I was not being, paying full attention to the kill feed. So he might even had more. Again, a statistic I really wish that we had, the charge accuracy, charge efficiency, right? Like how many kills you get per charge, because it seriously might have been above 100.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that you don't see often, and you have to pat that Reinhardt player on the back just because that value is cannot be really recognized. The other thing I'd love to just see the value of Desi's ultimates. I feel like almost every time he pressed the Q button, he got a pretty big play, whether it was Nano Blades, whether it was Torbjorn ultimates, whether the guy had a very short life in the series. He wasn't in for all the maps, but he definitely showed his dominance as a player.
Yes, and that was the Doomfist as well, right?
Yeah, he definitely showed up on Doomfist as well.
Yeah, so his meteor strikes on Doomfist also taking out multiple members very, very frequently. But I believe with that, we have reached my least favorite part of any Overwatch cast, and that is the end, of course, Dell. Thank you guys so much for tuning into week 4 of the EGF Fall 2019 Overwatch competition here with EGF. You can catch this action every single week starting at 4:15. Tuesday is Super Smash Brothers, of course. Wednesday is Rocket League that you might sometimes see me, definitely see Navik, our producer there, casting that frequently. And Thursday is Overwatch again. That's 4:15 EST. You can go ahead and follow official EGF on Twitter and Twitch for updates and announcements, anything about their games and this entire season. The season, of course, that would not be possible without the support from our sponsors, UConn Gaming Club and the UConn School of Engineering. I'm FBI Tugboat, and you can find me over on Twitter at FBI_Tugboat. I'm nice and easy.
And I'm Del Overwatch, and you can find me at Del Overwatch on Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you to all the players, the teams, the coaches, and everyone involved, and we'll see you soon.